Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of the Greek New Testament. And I'm reading through 1 Corinthians and up to chapter 2. This chapter really is essentially about the wisdom of the gospel, and we'll make a start on reading through this. Again, you'll need commentaries to explain some of the more difficult passages here. This is just a reading through, attempting to make sense of the Greek. Cargo elthon pros humas adelphoi. Elthon u kath huperokain logu Sophias kat angelon humin tomus mysterion to theou. Uga ekrina ti denai en humin me Iesun Christon kaituton estaromenon. Cargo en asthenea kai en phobo kai en tromopolo egenomen pros humas. Kai hologos mu kai tokerugma mu uk en pethois Sophias logos. Got various bits in brackets here. Al en apodexe pneumatos kai dunameos Hinehe pistis humon me en Sophia anthropon al enduname theou. Now, cargo is that common crasis here for kai plus ego, so kai ego and I. Elthon, aorist participle from erchomai, so having come pros humas to you, brethren. Eilthen uk. Now, we get an idiom here, this kath huperokain. Huperokain is an abstract noun meaning literally excellence or superiority. The noun occurs in Plato. The corresponding verb huper echo means to be superior to. Various translations of this, so it's literally not in superiority of speech or wisdom. Various people translate this, for example, as not with sublime words. Others translate it as not with the whole passage, the whole phrase here, I should say, as with eloquence. So it literally means with excellence of speech or of wisdom. Kat angelon, this is proclaiming. It's just another form of it's angelo plus the kata. So proclaiming to you the mysterion, the mystery of God. And there's a variant reading here. Some manuscripts read soterion, salvation. Paul, of course, had had a rather unpleasant experience with the so-called wise in Athens, the learned philosophers there. And he tends to be fairly anti-philosophic and anti-wisdom in the classical sense, which we're getting quite a bit of here. Uga ekrina. Now, this is from Crino. It's just the aorist. I perhaps made the decision. I made the judgment. I made the determination. So I did not. It's with u. So I did not make the determination. I did not make the judgment. Udenai, infinitive from oida, to know anything. En heimin, among you, common use of en here with the dative. Ame, except Jesus the Messiah, kai tuton, and that one, and this one, so him. Estaromenon is a perfect passive participle from staroo, and him crucified. Cargo, again we've got crasis here for kaiego, and I. Now the main verb here is egenomen and then pros humas. It's odd to use ginomai here, but Paul does this here. Literally, I was with you, so I came to you. In weakness, asthenea. This is an alpha privative plus the root sthenos here is strength, so opposite of strength is weakness. So I came to you in weakness and in fear and in much trauma or much trembling. This is cognate, of course, with our word tremble. There is a verb tremo, to shake, to tremble. Kai hologos mu, and my word, and or perhaps my account, my word, and my kerugma. Now the kerygma is it's the Christian teaching. It's a word that becomes a technical word certainly later. It means the thing that I am proclaiming. It's connected with keruso, to proclaim. So my word and my proclamation, perhaps. Now this next bit is somewhat difficult because of the variant readings. So if we keep all the things that are there at the moment, it says not. Now this n is that instrumental use of n, and if we take the pathos with logos, so with persuasive words of wisdom. However, there is no adjective pathos, doesn't occur anywhere else. Others have taken this, if you remove the sigma, they've taken this as pathoi, which is an old dative from the noun patho, with an omega on the end. It's one of these odd nouns that does occur in Greek, so meaning persuasion. So it would be not with the persuasion that comes from wisdom, and then we leave out the logos. So depending on what you read here, it either means not with persuasion arising from wisdom, or not with persuasive words of wisdom. Again, you'll need to look at the commentaries on this one. But in apodexe, this is from apodexis, meaning demonstration or revealing, showing, demonstration. It's an Herodotean word, says in Herodotus. So, but with the demonstration of the spirit and of power, genitive from dunamis. Hina hapistis, in order that your faith might not be, this is a subjunctive from the verb to be here, your faith might not be in the wisdom, perhaps founded in, but this might not be in the wisdom of men, but in the duname, dative here from dunamis, in the power of God. So Paul continues on here. Sophian de lalumen entois teleois, Sophian de u tu ionos tu uditon akonton, tu ionos tu ton kat argumenon, alla lalumen theou Sophian en musterio ten apokekrum menen, hen pro horisen theos pro ton ionon es doxan hemon, hen udes ton akonton tu ionos tu egnoken, ega egnosan uk an ton kurian tes doxes estarosan. I'll just pause it there. But we speak. Now this is entois teleois. It's a funny word here. It sometimes translated the spiritually mature, but there's no spiritual here. It literally means among those who are perfected. In classical Greek, the word could refer to an adult or a grown-up. So literally among the perfect, among those who are complete, we speak of Sophian, a wisdom, but a wisdom not of this age, from Ion, not of this age, nor understand a wisdom of the ones ruling, and it takes a genitive, this age, the ones ruling, and then in apposition to that term, kata argumenon. Now this is from kata, and then we get the it's all hidden in here, but you get kata plus alpha plus epsilon. So it's kata erg is the root. The alpha, the second alpha being privative. And so it's the ones who are not operating. Paul is particularly fond of this word. It's the ones who are losing their ability to do anything. So losing their efficacy. Some translate it as passing away, but it's more strong than that. It's those who are not effectual. And that's in apposition to our conton. So the rulers, nor are the wisdom of the rulers of this age those who are losing their efficacy. But, lalumen, we speak of the wisdom of God, which is tan apokekrumenon. This is from apokrupto, perfect passive participle, feminine agreeing with Sophion, that which is hidden in a mystery. Han, which God pro horisen, well, perhaps sent forth, predetermined. This is another word Paul seems to like, which God perhaps predetermined, proton ionon, before the ages, as doxan hemon, for his glory. And another relative here, Hain, a wisdom which none of the ones ruling this age, egnoken, has come to know. This is a perfect from ginosko. So which none of the rulers of this age has come to know. Agar egnosan, for if, now this is an aorist here, but probably best translated by a pluperfect in English, if they had known, uk an plus the subjunct, well, it's an aorist here. This is from stauro. So they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. And that probably there is going to be a, well, no, it's just a straight aorist. You'd expect a subjunctive with an, but we're just getting a straight aorist here. So they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. Now, we now have a quotation, so it continues on, alakathos gegraptai, ho ophthalmos uk aden, kai us uk ekusen, kai epikardian anthropu, uk anebe, ha etoimasen ho theos, tois agaposin auton. I'll just do that little bit there. But as it has been written, now what we get here is a paraphrase really from Isaiah 64:4, which I'll leave you to look up. The first part of this is from the Septuagint, and then he changes the wording here. So that which, so we get ha here, or those things which, so you've got to understand tauta before this, those things which an eye has not seen, nor an ear has heard, using the English perfect for the aorists here, that's from horao and akuo. Kai epikardian anthropo uk anebe. Now, it's literally, it has not gone to the heart of a man. Now, so, this is from anabino. Anabino has a range of meanings. Often means to get on board ship, but here it's just to go up to the heart of a man. It seems to be apparently a Hebraism, meaning to occur to someone's mind. So that which the eye has not seen, nor the ear has heard, nor has occurred to the mind of a man, perhaps paraphrasing it slightly, that those things which God, hetoi masen from hetoi masdo, with an epsilon, this is an augment here, the aorist, which God prepared, and we get a dative present participle here, for those loving him. Amen de apocalypsen theos. I'll read this bit here. So, Hamin de apocalypsen hotheos dia tu pneumatos, Toga pneuma, panta erona kai tabathe to theou. Tiska oiden anthropon, ta to anthropo me to pneuma to anthropo to enauto, hutos kai ta theou udes egnoken, ein me to pneuma to theou. Hemes deu to pneuma ton atu cosmu elabomen ala to pneuma to ek to theou, hina e domin ta hupetu theou charisthenta heimin. Just pause it there. But God has revealed, this is from Apocalypto, has revealed it, understand it, to you, dear to pneumatos, through the Spirit. Toga pneuma, for the Spirit, erauna, this is a verb from eraunao, it's an alpha contract verb, to search or to examine carefully all things. Kai here is even the bathe, the depths of God. This is a neuter plural from third declension neuter to bathos, the depth. So even the depths of God. For who anthropone of mankind or of men, Uden knows, from oida, sorry, oiden, from this is oida, knows tatu anthropo, the things of a man, or things of, or perhaps the things of the man, literally, ame, except the spirit of the man, and then tot is agreeing back with pneuma, the one which is in him. Hutos, kai, also in like manner, nobody, egnoken, perfect from ginosko, has known ta to theou, the things of God, ame ta pneuma to theou, except the Spirit of God. Hemes deu ta pneuma to cosmu elabomen. We, and we get a negative here, u goes with the elabomen from Lambano, so we have not received ta pneuma to cosmu, the Spirit of God, ala ta pneuma, but the Spirit, the one from God. Hina, in order that, plus the subjunctive, aorist subjunctive here from horao, you get adon, and this is adomen, first person plural, in order that we might know. Now the ta goes with the charisthenta. This is an aorist passive participle from charisdomai, and this is the passive. The things having been freely granted, heimin to us, hupa to theou, by God. So we get hupa after the passive here. Ha kai lalumen uk en. So this is the next little bit here. Kai ha kai lalumen uk en didactois anthropines sophias logos al en didactois pneumatos pneumatikois pneumatica sum crinontes. Now again, here is where we probably you'll need to go to commentaries here to make sense of all this. But it's literally that for that which also we speak, not in. Now didactois is an adjective, and it goes with the logos. So not in words that have been taught. So it's a passive adjective here connected with didasco. So that which we spoke, not in words that were taught, arising from, understood, the wisdom, human wisdom, from anthropinos, this is a adjective, but by the didactois, by the words taught. So we've got to understand logos again, but with the words taught from the Spirit. Sung crinontes, unfortunately, is ambiguous. It can mean to interpret, sung crino. So in that case it would mean interpreting pneumatica, spiritual things, pneumatikos, if we take this as a masculine, to spiritual people. So interpreting spiritual things to those who are spiritual. But on the other hand, the word can also mean to compare. So this could be a neuter here as well. So comparing spiritual things to spiritual things. And again, you'll have to check the commentaries. There are two possible interpretations here. Greek does like to have this idea of two nouns that are the same noun but in different cases. And the problem is to determine whether or not this is masculine or neuter. And that'll depend on which way you take this verb sum krino. There's a technical name for this when you've got two nouns in Greek right next to each other in different cases. It's called polyptoton. Polyptoton, and you might like to look it up. It's a fairly well used trope in classical Greek, which Paul has picked up here. In any case, we continue on here. So psychikos de anthropos ou deketai ta to pneumatos to theou. Again, there's variant reading there. Moriaga auto estin kai udunatai gunonai hoti pneumatikos anacrinetai hode pneumatikos anacrine tapanta ta in brackets autos de hup udenos anacrinetai tisca egno nun kuriou hos sum bibase auton hemes de nun Christou ekomen. So, just going back, it was psychikos de anthropos ou deketai. So, a fleshly man, a man of the psychikos, so something like natural sometimes. It has the sense of the psychikos of by human reason. So the natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit of God, for it is moria, foolishness, auto to him, nor is he able, gnonai, to understand it. This is infinitive, aorist infinitive from ginosko, because anacrinetai, now anacrino, this is in the middle here, it means to judge or to evaluate something, to sit in judgment on. So perhaps he evaluates it because he evaluates it spiritually. It could also be passive, meaning because it is evaluated spiritually, which is probably more likely since we're getting an active here. So take this as passive because it is evaluated spiritually. But the spiritual man evaluates or makes a judgment on all things, but he himself, now this definitely is passive, is judged or evaluated hup udenos by no one. Tisca egno, we get a quotation here from Isaiah 40:13, which follows the Septuagint rather than the Hebrew at this point, which often happens in these quotations. The Septuagint readings are not necessarily the same as the Hebrew. Tisca egno, for who knows the noun, the noon, the mind of God, and who will instruct him. This is from Sum Bibasdo. It has the sense of proved by reasoned argument. It's quite a common verb in the Septuagint and in the New Testament. It turns up a few times. So this is a future here, who will instruct him? But we have the noon, the mind Christou of Christ. And that is chapter 2.